Good morning. My name is Nicholas Pope, and I'm the pastor of Sequoia Community Church. You know, it goes without saying that this world is a pretty tough place. In fact, there's a lot of problems in the world, really. If you turn on the news, you can see that this world is filled with poverty and greed and violence, all kinds of perversions and things that oftentimes we'd rather not talk about. But the reality is that the world has always been this way. You know, sometimes we think that, well, if we could just go back to the good old days, you know, a time in which there was just nothing but goodness and happiness in the world, and there were no problems or pain. But that simply isn't true. You see, even after the world was created by God and made good in His sight, human beings, the crown of His creation, messed it up. It's this word that sometimes you hear in church. It's called sin. Missing the mark of God's standard of love and righteousness and goodness. But sin is quite a problem in our lives. It's really like a disease. You see, because our lives are naturally sinful, we're naturally bent on doing evil, not good. In fact, there was a time in history in which the world was so evil, it was so corrupt, it was so violent, that God had no choice but to put His judgment on the world. And His judgment would be a great flood that would cover the lands and would wipe out all of the creation. God was prepared to destroy everything on the earth and start over. But God found favor with someone. God found kindness with someone. You see, there was a man, his name was Noah, in whom God found favor with. And so therefore God poured upon this man Noah and his family a word called grace. Grace is that unexplainable kindness that God bestows upon us. And God bestowed this grace, this favor upon Noah, and instructed him to build a great boat, an ark, in which he and his family and two of every living kind would come aboard and be safe. And when the waters of the storm came and covered the earth and flooded all of the land, God's grace, His kindness, floated on top of those waters of destruction and despair. You see, God's grace always floats above those waters. God's kindness always rises above the difficulty, the sinfulness, the corruption, and God pours His grace upon us. In your life, if you are feeling absolutely sinful, if you are feeling absolutely like you're short of missing God's mark, receive God's kindness, receive His grace, so that you can experience His peace, His love of being right with Him. God bless you this week, and we hope to see you this Sunday at 10 a.m. at Sequoia Community Church.